Some of the other people that we're going to introduce, we start with Mr. Kevin Frankie. If you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi everybody. Excuse the background noise. I'm Kevin Frankie. I'm going to be the camp commissioner this year at Trevor East Jones. I'm excited to be coming to you from the Sam Houston Area Council, where last year I served as the assistant program director at Camp Strake.
And I'm Mike Henriksen, and I'm the camp director, and I'm also a professional scouter, and I'm in Texoma Valley, and this will be my 4th year at camp, and Mr. Garcia and I will be getting together again for our 3rd year together. And we're going to have an exciting year at camp, and we're glad that you're here, and hopefully we're going to make some new friends this summer.
And thank you all for being here again. I'm Mike Garcia. I'm your assistant camp director and paperwork guy. So if you're dreading that, I'm here for you. And we're really looking forward to an exciting summer camp. We got a solid staff, and Mike and I have, it's been a couple years for us, but we love TRJ, we love summer camp, and we're really looking forward to giving you and all your scouts a mountaintop experience. So with that being said, we will turn it over to Autumn, and she's just gonna walk us through what a day at camp looks like, and then what some of those special events are. Autumn, you with us? I think she might have frozen. So we'll kind of pick it up until she can get us there. Don't want to waste anybody's time. So a regular day, so starting on Monday after you check in at camp, breakfast will be at 8 a.m. And from there, there'll be a Scoutmaster meeting immediately after that. So we'll update all of the adults. You don't have to bring all of them, but at least one per troop, and get the announcements of the day. You'll get updated on the program, what events are happening in camp that day, any last minute announcements or verbal communications, anything we weren't able to get in our daily newsletter. And then kids will start classes at 9 o'clock. They'll have merit badge class at 9, 10, and 11. Then lunch will be from 12 to 1:30 p.m. Then the scouts will have merit badge classes again at 2 and 3 p.m. There'll be free time from 4 to 6. Dinner will then be from 6 to about 7:15. We'll have a flag ceremony, and then we'll have an evening activity. Each day will be something a little bit different. And then that's what Monday through really Thursday will look like. Friday will be a little bit different, but it'll still follow the same meal schedule. I will share all of this with everybody. I see a couple people frantically taking notes. You'll get this PowerPoint and a recording of tonight's meeting. So let me let a couple people in here. And then those special events, which aren't on that daily schedule, is on Sunday. If you have any scouts or adults who are going to be riding a bike on camp, we ask them to take a bike safety course. It'll work kind of like a totem chip. It's got to be with them. They'll lose a corner if they aren't good stewards and aren't safe on it. And if we have to, we will either confiscate it and share with the adult leadership of that troop, or they'll have to retake the course and rededicate themselves to being safe. On Sunday evening after dinner, there's just the one senior patrol leader and scoutmaster meeting. That's what we'll roll you through and get you any updates to this calendar, because all of this is subject to change based on success rates, weather, lots of factors. And so Mike here and I and our Key 4, the program director and camp commissioner, will make all those decisions collectively, but we will make sure that you are over communicated with so you know what else is going on. On Sunday evening after sundown, so we have that Scoutmaster meeting at 7:30. The sun usually is going down a little after 8. So as the sun's going down, campfire will start. Everybody on camp is invited to that. We'll have a campfire led by the staff, and then there'll be an ice cream social in the dining hall with a movie playing. On Tuesday, starting Tuesday morning, there will be a mile swim available to anyone who would like to participate. On Tuesday morning, that'll start at 7 a.m. That's very early for people, based on the number of people, that will decide how early they've got to start the rest of the days of the week. They've got 30 people who got to swim a mile. They'll probably start right at 7. They may even need to start a little earlier, but that'll be kind of TBD. We will have trail rides during non-meal times, and this may vary just a little bit, but that does include during merit badge class times. And we'll be able to accommodate if a kid has to go ride a horse and miss a merit badge class. So we'll have trail rides often and early and most of the day going on. Our goal is to get every scout who can on a horse, every scout who wants to. There's no charge for those trail rides, but you do have to get tickets from headquarters, and availability of tickets will be based on how many horses are available and what we can do with that hour. And again, at the bottom here, subject to change, but we will communicate thoroughly with you. I see a question in the chat box about swim forms. This won't be covered in the PowerPoint, but we will follow up with that, and I'll answer that at the end very briefly. And if you need more detail, we'll follow up with you on that, okay? Troop 55. Further special events, Monday Night Madness. So the evening for Monday night after dinner, there will be a camp-wide relay race. Some of those events are a surprise, so we won't tell you, but there will be categories for younger and older scouts. On Monday night, there'll be grand awards on Friday for who did the best and all that. Tuesday and Thursday night, we'll have open areas. That means all of our program areas will be open. If they're not taking rifle, but they want to shoot rifle, they've got Tuesday or Thursday night to do that. Same with horses, same with climbing, same with all the shooting sports, same with our handicraft, scoutcraft, welding, all of that. Wednesday, and I left a note out there, sorry. Scoutmaster luncheon. We will ask one Scoutmaster per troop to stay in the dining hall, and all other Scoutmasters, that means any adult on camp, is invited to a special Scoutmaster luncheon where we'll feed you a nice steak lunch as an appreciation for taking from your time to come out to camp with us. And don't worry, those adults we asked to stay in the dining hall, we will get you a steak as well. We got to have some adult supervision there. And it'll be a simpler meal that day so that cleanup is not quite as complicated. But we'll still take care of the scouts. They'll still be eating well. Thursday night, there are 2 unique events going on after those open area programs. There's a wilderness survival overnighter. So scouts taking wilderness survival will have an overnighter to complete that merit badge. And so they will do that. You'll get the list of what limited materials they're allowed to bring with them to do that. If you know the merit badge, you know what those are. So you should already have those on hand. And if not, we can provide them. There's also a star party. Anyone's invited to that, but scouts taking astronomy merit badge should attend that to complete that merit badge, but they'll go up to our upper corral. If you haven't been to East Texas, where we're going to be having camp, there is some beautiful vision of the night sky, and they'll be using telescopes and such to complete that merit badge, but also to have a pretty cool experience. Wednesday night, we will have our Western Fair. We've got some opportunity for feedback on that later about what you all think. But at that Western Fair, there'll be all types of Western themed things going on. We'll have a cowboy, probably a roping demonstration, and tons of carnival type games for your scouts to do. We also invite you to have everyone bring Western wear for that night. Bring you a silly cowboy shirt, bring your cowboy hats and boots if you like. I will hold out. I will not wear cowboy boots because I won't completely submit to becoming a Texan, but I do love it here. OA Brotherhood Walk will happen on Wednesday night. And so Monday you can get the forms, and on Wednesday night they will do a Brotherhood Walk. Then if you remember Monday Night Madness, the scouts are all competing against each other. Thursday night, and you can start putting your teams together now, we will have Thursday afternoon throwdown. All of the Scoutmasters, adults on camp, will be challenged by our staff to see if you can beat them in that same relay race. So the challenge is out. The biggest one is usually some Scoutmasters who can do the cycling and running faster than our scouts can. But it's always a fun deal. The scouts will all be cheering either for or against their Scoutmasters. So we want to participate too, and we'll have a lot of fun with it. Then Friday night after dinner, we'll have awards for throughout the week. There'll be for all the different areas, some special awards for scouts. And then we will lead that into a call out ceremony after Friday night dinner. Again, that is all subject to change, but we will stick pretty closely to that, weather permitting and just environment permitting. Autumn, are you there now? Can you
Hey,
hear
Mike.
us? Yeah.
Yes, I'm here. I was gonna add, so for the Friday, after lunch is when we'll have, the areas open doing, specific events like, I know in the past at the climbing tower, they've done different climbing competitions, see how far somebody can get on the bouldering wall, how fast somebody can climb the 24, and those are part of the awards that would also be given on Friday night. So each area, not every area might not have a competition or something, but some of the areas will have competitions that will have awards with them.
Very good. And next slide is kind of what's new for this year. Autumn, do you want to cover that for us real quick, just with the overview, and then we'll kind of drill down on some of those things?
Yeah, so new this year, we've got a new food service for our dining hall. It's Upper Crust Food Service, which Mike and Mike know a little bit more about them, so they can cover that more in depth. But at our waterfront, we are going to have a new blob city. We will still have our old blob out, but we're getting this new blob city. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's basically an obstacle course on the water. And I'm excited to try it myself. So I can't imagine how excited the kids are going to be for that. So we've got some new focuses. We're doing more trail rides. I know in the past couple years we haven't done as many as we did way back when, but we are going to be doing more trail rides this summer. We have a revamped first year camper program. We've got a lot of exciting things happening in that area. Our new area director for that area is very excited. He's already started prepping and buying stuff. Then we've got a new fishing pavilion. If any of y'all have been out here, y'all know Perryman Lake. We have a new fishing pavilion over there by that. It's very nice, nice and big. We have pedal boats, not paddle boats, that are going to be available for adult leaders. Those are also very nice. I got to ride on one last week. It was very fun. Training opportunities for adults, which our commissioner will be speaking on a little bit more. And then we will be switching back to Saturday departure this summer. So
With that, the first thing, and we're very excited, especially if you were there last year at summer camp, there were some challenges with the dining hall. And so we've worked very hard and sorted through several companies to find a high quality food service company that we can hire to handle the meal service at TRJ. And so Upper Crust Food Service will be coming out. They're a professional food service, and they will man as well as do all of the ordering of supplies and such. They are dedicated to good service, delivering on the menu, and giving us fresh food. And they have year-round resources to do that. They've got their regular vendors that they source for that, and they have experienced folks. They, throughout the year, work with fraternity and sorority houses, and they feed them all year long, sometimes in the hundreds and hundreds of people a day through several meals. And so they've got some experience. We're working with them to make sure they're up to date and up to code on all the BSA and state health requirements, because we're feeding a different demographic. We've got to follow a couple more rules when we're feeding 11-year-olds, but they're prepared. Their dietitian is working closely with us to make sure we deliver on that menu and have the best experience for our scouts. They will also be taking charge, and I will be overseeing that they communicate with you and possibly with parents about any dietary needs, special dietary concerns or restrictions. They do have a set limit on what they can do. And so if there's a scout who just can't eat what we have at camp, they will work with them for the parents to provide those meals, and they'll prepare them on camp. And we will reduce the cost of that scout attending. Not 100% all of our food costs, because that dining hall will still have some work to do to prepare and work on that, but we will take out a good significant portion of that to accommodate those parents needing to provide food. If you want to learn more about Upper Crust, I will send this out, but that's their website. One question that was in the chat box was, is this slide deck going to go out? Yes. Also, the leader guide will go out tomorrow based on some feedback that we're going to get from you all today. And so we're going to ask you all, get your feedback on a couple of things before the key four, me, Mike, Autumn, and Kevin, make a couple of final decisions. Mike Proctor answered the question about checkout times, and there was one other question in there, Mr. Castelli, about merit badge progress and which requirements were covered. Yes, that will be updated by our area directors. It may not be 100% daily. We're going to shoot for that, but definitely on Friday morning at the beginning of the day, you will have a report on all your scouts and their progress on merit badges. Because Friday morning, rather than having regular merit badge class, scouts will be able to go to any area to get completions that they need, including if they weren't signed up for that class that week. For instance, they're trying to get that climbing requirement for camping merit badge. They can go to the climbing tower and knock that out. Or if they've got to go to the first aid folks because they missed a requirement on Tuesday, they can do that. So we guarantee you'll have a report Friday morning. And then when you leave on Saturday morning, we'll get you an update on that and we can maybe talk through any specifics. There was one other question, I think, in there. I think that got answered. So moving on from that, Blob City. Autumn, what do you got?
I'm so excited about this. Me being, having my aquatic background, I'm excited for having for us to have something like this out here. This Blob City is 145 feet long. And it basically is an obstacle course. So they'll start on a platform, they'll go through an obstacle, then there's different platforms throughout it, but it runs 145 feet long. And then the end of it is a slide, and they'll get to slide down it and then swim back over. Don't know exactly what how we're gonna work it out with how we run things down at the waterfront, but we will have it 100% all figured out by the time y'all get here this summer. And it will be very well tested, I assume, before y'all get here, because I know I'm excited. Even Mr. Garcia is excited to try it. So we'll make sure it's all good for you guys before y'all get out here.
Also, if you'll think back to that Thursday afternoon throwdown, and yes, I'm looking at you and several others, Mr. Castelli, we're gonna have to run this thing too. Now I am trying to already get over the shock of possibly being in that lake, but I will do anything for the scouts. So really looking forward to it.
Possibly, you have to end up in the lake because of the slide.
I know. I'm trying to avoid that. So for Ms. Howard, your question was, is the first year camper class a replacement for Trail to First class? The answer is yes. We call it first year camper because we won't just cover first class requirements. We will cover a huge majority of tenderfoot, second class, and first class ranks. About 85% of those. We are looking to publish that in the next couple of days. We're sorting that out. And again, we will say with a reservation, we will try to cover all those requirements. But our goal, and that leads me to the next slide, is for those kids to actually learn those requirements. We will not sign off on those. We will give you a report on what we covered, particularly for those first class requirements. And it's up to your scoutmaster or their designee to approve those in their handbooks. But you will get a report. Those reports will also be permanent in the Black Pug system. So you can look at those. I looked at my son's winter camp report from 2019. So, and this was this week. So that is semi-permanent in there. There is a risk that that site crashes or something, but they should be semi-permanent in there and always accessible for you. But our philosophy, and we've got a whole new kind of management team for TRJ this year, and we really want to focus on doing what we do well. We're going to complete as many requirements as we can complete in a camp environment. for every merit badge we offer. We're also going to have fun, engaging camp-wide programs so that your kids have a mountaintop experience and they go home excited for having been at camp. We've eliminated some merit badges, either because they were cumbersome to do or so that we can provide more offerings of Eagle required merit badges. For instance, my best explanation of that one is public speaking. We were covering public speaking 2 periods instead of doing communications. We're now going to have communications every hour period, 5 opportunities each week for scouts to cover that Eagle required merit badge, right? And so we simplified in a few areas, and some things like oceanography, you just can't really teach in Central Texas, East Texas. You can't really get that merit badge. You can cover the requirements, but we wanted stuff that's real or Eagle required that we can cover at camp. And then what we did, wood turning has had a great turnout for years. We've had a lot of excitement around that. But kids were having to decide, do I take that and not earn a merit badge with one of my hour slots? And so what we've done is it will not be offered during merit badge time. It will be offered during open areas on Tuesday and Thursday. There'll be 3 slots they can sign up for. You'll sign up when you get to camp. That'll be just based on availability of machines and such. But you'll be able to sign up to go and turn a pen or make a chess set, I think is what we, not a set, but a big chess piece. And so we really, that's our philosophy around the merit badge and the program. But what Mike and I will tell you is our philosophy is extreme customer service. We don't know how to say no. We know how to tell you maybe we can't right now. But if you have an issue, as long as you let us know about it, we're going to take care of you. That's right. Mike will tell you that, and we say that without reservation. Bring it, and we'll do our best to take care of it, and we'll put a time frame on it.
That's right. And when you get to camp, we'll have a surprise for you because you get to learn our philosophy. And we'll tell it to you in real simple terms and with a smile on our face. But another thing that we have a passion for this year is our trail rides. And we want to make sure that every scout can ride a horse if they want to. And for your really, for your complete understanding also is we're excited because we have a new wrangler this year. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute, but he's in tune to it. He's actually have a lot of experience at a working ranch. So, and he knows how to take care of horses and put them to the best use. So we're looking forward to that. And also our campers, our new scouts, our second class scouts and first class scouts, when they're in trail to first class and they're working hard, they can also have an opportunity to go swimming. They can go ride a horse. They can participate in other events in their downtime. And also we'll make time for them to do some other things during their instructional times also.
Just to answer a quick question, and I jumped like 20 slides there. And no, we don't have 20 more slides. So somebody asked if adults can switch out, and I know it was addressed in the chat box, but yes, registration is built so that you can have part-time adults. We do, in order to be in compliance with scouting and with the state of Texas, need each of those adults to register. You're not going to be charged for the whole week for them, right? They'll just pay for the days that they're there. And so it'll even out. But we do need every adult to have the right paperwork and be registered. So that is a very important point. If we can take care of that paperwork on the front end, then we can have a seamless, enjoyable experience when they arrive on camp. So next up is the first year camper program. Mikey.
Michael and I have been talking a lot about this. In my day at camp, I was the director of Scoutcraft area, and I love first year scouts. I love new scouts because they learn so much. And we want to make sure that they not only that they learn the skill well, but we want to make sure that they retain it. So we've got some dedicated older scouts in that area, and we want to make sure that they have a mountaintop experience and they remember and they can utilize those skills throughout their scouting career. And also, as indicated in the catalog, the staff, we will not sign off on any of those rank advancements. That will be left up to the unit leader, and they will be provided with all of the information and every requirement that those youth have completed. And the same with our 1 hour second and first class program also. And while we do have plenty of instructors, We also are asking the scoutmasters, assistant scoutmasters, and whoever's there, if they have some expertise and they want to roll up their sleeves and help us, hey, we're more than willing to entertain that. And we want this to be a camper-friendly environment, but we want them to walk away with being a new scout or a second class or a first scout and know those requirements and can retain that and use that throughout their scouting career.
So there was a question in the chat box. Does someone need to have a horsemanship merit badge to ride a horse? Absolutely not. If you haven't been to TRJ, we put 6-year-olds on those horses. They are very well trained. There are no prerequisites whatsoever except the willingness to climb on top of a horse. And so if you're at camp and you want to ride one, we do, very good point, Mr. Parker, proper clothing, ankle length pants, and we prefer long sleeve shirts. Question just came up, is there a sign up for the horses? You will sign up for horses at camp. Reason for that is based on their availability, a little bit to do with the weather and how much they can endure, and then just based on health. So we don't want anybody to sign up in advance and then maybe be disappointed, but our goal is for every scout and every person who wants to ride a horse at camp. Kevin, you are up, but I don't know if you have visual. So I'll cover this one for you with our new fishing pavilion. So something that I'm really excited about, because this is what I spent most of summer camp with my son last year doing, and that is some fishing at TRJ. If you haven't been before, we have a beautiful set of lakes out there and a very pretty well-stocked lake. I said very, it's pretty well. I don't want to say very, I don't want to mislead anybody. But there's definitely some good fishing right off of where most of your campsites will be. This year, some very generous donors and the OA have helped us to put up a fishing pavilion right near that lake. And there will be storage facility there for fishing poles. And we will also have some pedal boats. Those are the ones you kind of sit in and you pedal with your feet, that will be available only to adults, just because we can't, ensure the safety of our scouts on those. But adults will be able to go out those during merit badge class or otherwise, and fish in the lake right off those pedal boats. So we're excited to have a cool new feature for our adults. And so we hope you'll come on out, and you'll probably catch a bigger fish than me. Next up, we do have
All right,
Kevin
I am
Frank.
here. Yes.
Okay.
All right,
good.
everybody. So I am very excited to be bringing up adult training opportunities. And what's really awesome is we don't know what everything's going to be yet. And so my experience has been in training in the Order of the Arrow, setting up trainings for both youth and adults alike, and setting up the training program that we used at Camp Strake for 2021. And so knowing those things, one of the things that I want to do before I create an adult training schedule is to poll you on what your interest would be. And so there's 2 ways to do this. One is just to type in the chat, maybe this is something that I'm looking for in our training. This is something that I've been missing out as an adult leader, or something that I'd want clarification on. And then the other thing would be, if you don't know what that is yet, my email address is going to be in the leader's guide. If you'll send me an email, as soon as you kind of have that idea, we're still going to have a little bit of time to process what that adult training schedule is like. And I so that we're giving you the best quality training schedule that we can.
We lost you for a second there, Kevin.
Oh, I apologize here. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we have the opportunity to know what you need best as adult leaders. And so with that, either put it in the chat, let me know what you think, or what you think you need, or send me an email. Again, my email will be in the leaders guide.
A couple of questions to answer from the chat box. So first, if merit badge completions are in Black Pug, how do we get signed blue cards? So the Black Pug site can serve as verification of those completions being done. But if your troop does still do blue cards, you will then kind of have the responsibility to make those for those scouts. If you need them physically signed, hopefully you don't, but if you do, then our area directors are the merit badge counselors, and so we can handle that for you. We may have a few blue cards for sale in our trading post, but we won't be stocked to provide all of those. The other piece is if you use either My Dot Scouting, Scout Book, or Troop Master, those can upload directly. So the Black Pug report can be uploaded directly into either Scout Book or Troop Master. Hopefully that is good enough information.
Hey, Mike,
Somebody-
Michael, hey, this is Mike Proctor. So also when they have the link to get into their troop information, there's actually a blue card report.
Right.
So it actually prints the actual blue card. It's not blue, it'll print on white, but if you need blue cards, you can put blue paper in there. But it actually has all the information as a blue card, as a report that the unit leader can print.
Good deal. One other question, Laura Dolan asked if adults will need to pass the swim test to use pedal boats. The answer is yes. And will scouts and adults need to pass the swim test to go on Blob City? The answer is yes. Currently, and Autumn, you can correct me, you're our current aquatics person. I believe they can do the blob with a vest on if they're a swimmer or if they're a beginner. Can you clarify that for us?
Yeah, so for the blob related stuff, you have to be a swimmer in order to do anything blob related. If you're a beginner, you can do boating activities with an adult who's a swimmer. And then somebody had asked about the mile swim. And let me see what the question was. You don't have to master the swim forms. So like the strokes, you don't have to master those to do the mile swim. It's just a lot easier if you're better at them, because it is a mile long. But as long as they pass the swim test, they can do the mile swim as well. And I think there was one more. And we do swim tests Sunday when you get here.
Autumn, is there a way to avoid doing the other swim test on that Sunday night if they've already done it, like, with the troop? Or do you just have them redo it?
So if you have your swim test done before camp, as long as you bring the paperwork with you, our aquatic instructor will look over that information and he will approve it right out. They'll get their buddy tags and everything. But I'm sorry, if we notice a scout struggling while they're swimming, our aquatics director does have the right to retest anybody. So.
Thanks. And what paperwork are you referring to? Like, is there a particular form?
Yes, and I will email that out after this. And I believe it's on the Black Pug site, but I'll check that again. Just making a note of that, so I'll make sure to get it out. And then we are going back to the opportunity to do Saturday departure. I saw somebody ask the question. You will actually set an appointment for when you want to check out on Saturday. So you can decide if you want to leave first thing after breakfast. Our general window is between 9 a.m. and 12:30, 9 a.m. and 1. But most troops are wanting to get out of there so you can get home. If you would still like to check out on Friday, you'll just need to let us know and schedule that with us. But Saturday, morning breakfast will be a grab and go breakfast. You can eat in the dining hall, but it'll be stuff you can just send a couple people to pick up at the dining hall. You can either, again, eat in the dining hall, eat in your campsite while you're getting ready to go, or take it with you on the road and eat on the ride home. Any troops that, like I said, want to leave Friday afternoon even or evening, you'll schedule that with your camp ambassador, which I'll cover here in a second. And or with our office manager. So you'll be familiar with that by the time we get there, but we can get that all scheduled. So had a question about whether adults need to demonstrate proper form as the scouts are required to do in order to pass the swim test. Autumn?
So I don't really look for proper form as long as you're not struggling, even with scouts, if they're not struggling to swim, because not all kids are going to be able to do the proper forms when they're swimming. But yeah, you have to pass the swim test just like the kids would. So if you're struggling, then you're going to get whatever beginner, whatever it is that you get. So you just have to make sure that you're not struggling. You have forward momentum when you're swimming, all of those things. You have to be able to float. And Mr. Daffron, I believe, put in the chat about the swim test before camp at Camp Wisdom. I have those dates and I will get them to Garcia and he can attach those to the email with the swim check paperwork.
Wonderful. And then just in addition to that, the swim check form is in the forms on the registration site. I'll resend it. But also it's, if you're not familiar with it, the Circle 10 policies on those swim checks is in there. There are specific requirements on what that lifeguard who's doing the test, what certification they have, and what documentation comes with that form that's filled out. So do kind of pay close attention and give us a call if you have any questions or need help walking through it, okay? Next, I'll cover the OA pretty quickly. There will be when you arrive, please bring the names of kids who are being called out, who you plan on having called out from your troop. On Monday, Brotherhood candidates will get rededication paperwork from the camp chief. If you don't know what that means, let us know. On Thursday, the Brotherhood walk-in ceremony will happen after the evening program. And then on Friday night, after dinner, we'll have awards, and then we'll go straight into the OA call out. So all of camp will be invited to be a part of that. The OA members, we ask that you wear a sash with field uniform on Friday. If you are an out of council troop, so if you're not part of Micanacqua Lodge or Circle 10 Council, we can still make a call out for you at camp. There is a very big deal for a lot of scouts. We just need a letter and email from your lodge chief or lodge advisor giving us that permission. We can only seal membership with Brotherhood with specific permission. I am not well versed enough. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm sure OA folks know what that means. We need specific permission in order to do any of those OA things with anybody outside of Circle 10. But we're more than happy to do that. We just don't want to step on any toes. Quickly, I'm going to cover arrival. And this is probably the most important thing for you to know before you get there, because anything else we'll take care of while you're there. So while this might change because of COVID protocols, which are currently being reviewed, this will be the general flow of Sunday when you arrive. You should all have signed up for, and if not, I will make sure you do, because that's my job, and arrival time. And we asked you not to arrive more than 15 minutes before your check-in time. And please, please, please don't be late. We want to make sure there's no backup whatsoever in registration. That's kind of where the fun all starts. And we will do our very best and we'll take care of you. But don't show up an hour early and maybe get upset if we can't get you in. We're sorry, but we want to make sure everybody gets checked in at their arrival time. When you get there, a friendly camp staff member and will greet you, and 2 adults from your troop and your senior patrol leader will need to go in and do check-in. One of those adults and your senior patrol leader will go in the camp office for check-in. The other adult will take your medical forms and go to the health lodge. That's to reduce traffic and backup. If the health officer has any questions or concerns, they'll see if that person can answer them, and if not, they'll follow up. But the rest of your troop will wait kind of in the parking area, in a safe area, I promise, with a staff member until they finish that check-in process. We anticipate it'll take 15 to 20 minutes. That's our hope. But please be patient. Our staff will be prepared with a couple things to keep them entertained. But they'll be kind of waiting till you get finished checking in. Then once you check in, we'll have a camp ambassador who's assigned to you for the week, and they'll take you to your campsite. They'll also lead you on a tour of camp and to go do those swim checks if you're needing to do that on Sunday. They'll then check in with you, that same camp ambassador. We've called these troop guides in the past. They'll check in with you throughout the week and make sure you're having an outstanding experience. Arrival paperwork, you'll need a troop roster, and that's to verify that everybody who's with you is registered in scouting. So that can either be out of my.scouting.org, which is where everybody takes youth protection training, or out of Scout Book. Either one of those will work for us. Then you'll need the COVID-19 roster. If you're used to the COVID-19 forms, which are pretty lengthy. It's like 3 full sheets of paper per person. We do not need those anymore. It's okay, hold your claps, no need to celebrate, but we do need the new Circle 10 COVID-19 roster. And what that does is mark for each person that they've received and acknowledged those COVID forms. So the COVID forms are a commitment to transport, and that's for any reason, but including COVID-19 exposure. We need a commitment from parents that they will come and pick them up or that the troop will take them home. There's the pre-health kind of assessment, kind of saying, hey, we haven't had any of these symptoms or been around somebody with COVID in the last several days. And then the, what's the third one? I just blanked. Commitment to transport, screening. You'll have the forms. I'm sorry, my brain's not doesn't have them memorized. But then you'll also be required to have at least one weather hazard trained adult. So please bring a certificate for at least one person that they have weather hazard training. If you don't know where to get that, if they've taken Scoutmaster training, it's in there. So just bring verification that they've taken Scoutmaster training. Each person who will be at camp overnight is required to turn in a medical form. That's parts A, B, and C. And they do need to be signed by a doctor if you're not aware. You'll also, for every adult, need a copy of the sexual offender database check. And there's instructions on how to do that, but give us a call or reach out to us if you need help. And a copy of valid youth protection certification. An adult in camp state compliance form, that's just something that they fill out. And if any of these forms are missing, we cannot allow that adult to remain in camp overnight. If they want to come for the day and be supervised and go home at night, that is perfectly fine. But if they want to stay on camp overnight, we need all of those forms for that adult. All non-Circle 10 council units, and this is insurance related, we need you to bring 2 copies of your local council insurance claim form. So if you haven't seen that, you can just check with your professional or your council office. It's likely on their website. I know we at least have a couple Houston troops on here. I know theirs is on the council website. You can just search it on there. Departure, we're going to try and make pretty straightforward for you as well. In exchange for completing the checkout process, which will be an inspection, all that. Again, we'll have you schedule that. You'll give us a survey. We'll ask for 1 from your senior patrol leader and 1 from your group of adults. So we're going to have 2 surveys we ask you to turn in. And in exchange, we'll give you your patches and return your medical forms and then see you off camp. And then your advancements, we've covered this a little bit, but you'll get a hard copy on your way out, but then all of that advancement information will be available in the Black Pug system semi-permanently. And those both sync either with Scoutbook or with Troopmaster. Upcoming key dates. So March 15th, that's next week, is when you can register for merit badges. And it's also when the next payment is due. You should have be up to date on $125 per Scout and $150 per Maverick. And then on April 6th, we have another one of these leader meetings. May 11th, there's another one. And there you go. May 12th is the deadline to have all your payments in and all the information and merit badge registration for your Scouts. If you don't by then, we can't guarantee they'll have the classes they want. On the other 2 leader meetings, really quickly, the meeting 2 and 3, we're going to cover more or less the same information, maybe with a slight update, but you don't need to be at all 3 of those. If you'd like to, we're happy to have you and to answer all your questions, but you don't need to be at all of those. With that, I think Mike is going to talk to us about some feedback we'd like to get from you all.
Thank you, Michael. I'm sure you'd like to take a little break with you there.
Sure. I need a little coffee.
Yes.
We always have coffee, by the way, any time of day.
So what Michael is talking about, we're looking at making a few changes in our dining hall and getting a little feedback from everybody. And we are thinking about having open meal times. And what that means is we might want to open the dining hall about 7:30 in the morning and run to 8:30 or various times like that. And just wanted to get a little bit feedback about concerns from you instead of everybody lining up and, taking turns and standing outside and waiting and having a bunch of announcements and a bunch of songs. and stuff like that. So anyway, we'll just open it up and just get a little of your feedback. Don't be bashful, and be honest with us and tell us what you like and what you don't like.
Or if you'd rather not say it to everybody, you can yell at me and Mike in an email anytime you like. Okay, we got one note. Love that. Open meal times sound great. Any opposed? One thing we did think through is that would cut down on how we do our flags. We would designate a troop to do flags in the morning, and we would do a camp-wide flag retreat in the evening. I agree, Sarah, especially at breakfast and at lunch. At lunch is hard because it's hot, no matter where. And so if you've got to wait in line, it can be miserable. Open meal time. And the other thing we would supplement this with is because we wouldn't have everybody together to make announcements, or nobody start singing the song, please. Verbal communications. We would have a daily newsletter for you. In addition to, we would provide updates at the flags in the evening if needed, and at those Scoutmaster meetings in the morning. So we feel like we've got plenty of touch points where we can get information to you. And so we would make sure that you have all the information and know what's going on.
So that's a positive note, then, what it sounds like to me.
Agreed.
So another thing we'd like a little bit of feedback for, if those of you have been to TRJ, say 5 or 6 years ago, on Wednesday nights we had a rodeo, and we no longer do that rodeo. So we were thinking, maybe what do we do for filler? So we have a young man that's actually been a real cowboy, and he plays guitar and he sings a little bit. And so I think Miss Autumn has got a chuck wagon rounded up for us. So we're thinking about maybe just a little come and go type of event where the kids can come up to the corral, have some root beer, throw some horseshoes, do some branding, do a little bit of roping, and just visit a little bit, and just to come and go. So they can play some games, have a little cowboy poetry or anything like that. So we're not trying to take away from any events in camp, maybe a come and go, and just get a little bit of feedback from the leaders right now. And as we've told you, some of our program time are subject to change, and we will make those changes according to our customers. So if you have something, want to speak out about it, have a little event, something you'd like to do, just share it in the chat or go ahead and speak up about it.
So while you think about your feedback there, we had a question, very good question, and is it Ann? Yeah, about how would table waiters work? So we would still have your tables that are assigned for the week to your troop, and we would still ask you send table waiters in advance to go and set up the table for your troop and make sure to clean up afterwards. So your troop tables are still assigned for you. Your newsletter would be on the table for you with assigned seating, right? And so you'd still be responsible for that, but we would have staff available to supplement that just in case. We always need that. And so very good question, but I think we can work around that. What we generally recommend is, though it's open times, that you come as a troop and maybe eat as a family. But you wouldn't have to wait in line the whole time at the beginning if you all got something you want to do, or just didn't wake up as early. But we'd make sure we would have to be pretty hard on those closing times at the serving line. But we'll get it worked out. Nobody's going to go hungry. You have that commitment from me personally, and I think Mr. Hendrickson would give you that as well. If any of you know me, I guarantee your kids will not go hungry unless it's because they refuse to eat, but they'll have plenty to eat. Now that we've opened up the can of worms about the dining hall, and I don't want to turn this into a beat up session, the horse is dead, and hopefully you have confidence that we have made sure it's dead and has no pulse. But are there any specific concerns that we need to be aware of with that dining hall, or that you all can think of? Okay, will there be a new menu for this year? Yes, it will be fairly close to what it currently is. The dietitian and I are actually working on finalizing that as we speak. But it'll be fairly close. I'm hoping for a little less of those heavy carbs, but there will be a dietitian approved menu, and we will have that published within the next couple of weeks. So for Ms. Wharton, where do you make notes on allergies and food restrictions? When you go in and put in each scout in the registration system, it will actually require you to give any allergies and food restrictions in there. So if you reserved for the troop at large, it didn't require that. But as you go in and put each scout, it will ask you to give that information. We did have two questions about cell phones and showers. So cell phones, I think the question was as related to how you should handle it with your scouts. The most interesting news for you, if you haven't been to TRJ, is that they probably won't have cell service. And we will have Wi-Fi available specifically to the adults. But in general, and Scoutmasters, feel free to chime in the chat box. We recommend scouts not have phones throughout the week. But again, that is up to your troop on how you do that and enforce it.
Let me make one comment with that also. This is where it's very important that you have adult supervision around the bathhouses and shower areas. Sometimes get a little carried away with little pranks and stuff like that, but under youth protection, that is something that is not tolerated. So please make sure that when your scouts are going to those shower areas and everything, that you have adequate adult representation there. And I'm kind of like Michael, the less that they can use that phone, the better off we're going to be.
And I'll speak for the staff in general. Our staff are trained to, if they see a kid with the phone out during class to, tell them, hey, put that away, we're in class and whatnot. And if it continues to be an issue, they'll bring it up and we'll have a conversation with you guys.
Thank you for that, Autumn. And our staff will be held accountable to that too. We will not have any policies that we don't expect our staff to have. And we're excited. We're going to try and be very consistent. Really, we should only be using phones to check the time or to time stuff. So very good question. Somebody mentioned showers, and I don't know what the specific question was there, but what we'll establish is a rotation. What we recommend is that you have a time for your scouts to go shower and a time for adults to shower. I personally recommend adults to plan your showers while scouts are in class. I always would shower after I got my scouts to class in the morning and then kind of take a nap until lunchtime.
That'll also be a topic at the Scoutmasters meetings about working out that and cleaning and whatever. But one other thing that we didn't mention, and Mike is very adamant about that, and I am too, and so is our key four for camp, is in our evening time, we're Class A uniform. So just want everybody to realize that evening is a formal meeting. We're going to dress up in our scout uniform and look like scouts.
And where that'll be pretty strictly enforced is at those closing flags. So the closing flag for each day will be in Class A uniform at the flagpoles right outside the dining hall, and we'll all retrieve the flag together, camp-wide. So, with that being said, any feedback on training opportunities, specific training besides Scoutmaster specific and IOLS that you all would like to see? Wilderness first aid, okay. We'll see what we can do on that one. That one's hard to find somebody, but we will definitely take note of that and see what we can find. I know Kevin Frankie has some good resources, and we have a very strong council training committee. And so we may be able to pull that off.
And for the swimming and water rescue and the BSA lifeguard, I have some connections. I might be able to figure out who can do that for us, because it just, I'm trying to do it, but I'm going to be a little bit busy, and our aquatics directors, he's going to be actually teaching merit badge classes, so I'm not sure if he'll be able to, but I have connections with some aquatics people that I can see about getting somebody out here, possibly.
Okay, Mr. Daffron mentioned ATV certifications. So that is actually something that we're thinking about doing. The challenge is it's about a 2-hour course that you would have to sit through. And it's not very fun. But if we could get people to do that throughout the week, we would really like to do a special Scoutmaster trail ride on those ATVs in the evening. And so if that's something that we think we can get enough people to do, we were more than happy to do that. And it's one of the coolest ways to see parts of camp that nobody really ever gets to go to. So definitely, Mr. Daffron, that is on the list of something we're wanting to make happen. Miss Shirley with Troop 55, did you get your question answered on the cancellations? Okay, good deal. Range training, yes, that is something we're looking at potentially doing. RSO and or is it Range Master? I don't know. But yes, shooting sports certifications is something we're pretty confident we have the staff for. And so we're going to make at least a couple of these things available. Good question from Ms. Hughes. Is it required that he utilized a TRJ tent for a Maverick? For a Maverick or anyone else, you are free to bring your own tents. We will be setting up two to a tent. And so we just don't have the availability to have one person per tent, but you are free to supplement that. What we do ask is that we not have hammock camping. And that's just because it's difficult for us to maintain and ensure safety there. Cots, we will have a limited number of cots available. We do recommend getting those on your way or bringing them with you. We'll have, 15, 20 we can rent out for the week. And if you really need it and don't have cash, we'll take care of you. We are in the hospitality business once you get to our camp. But we won't be able to get you 20 cots. So please do what you can to come prepared with those. Very good question.
We normally don't put chocolate on your pillows because it's too hot and it'll melt, but we can get you some if you absolutely need it. But most of all, we want you to have a good experience. And some of these things we can do, and you've given us some great ideas. Some weeks we have a lot of people that are range certified, and we might be able to pull some of this off. But that's something we'll put in our hip pocket and ask around. I think maybe on the first week, we might have 2 or 3 people coming. So we'll mull that over and see what we can do.
Good deal. Mosquito nets, definitely we will have some for sale. Yes, we will have ice for sale, and we have a special sale for Mr. Castelli and what's our other guy's name?
Otis Looper.
Mr. Looper. We will have plenty of ice. Yes, sir. Mosquito nets, yes, I would recommend bringing them. If you haven't seen it, there is a list of recommended items to bring to camp, but we will also have some available for sale in the trading post. Now that I mentioned trading post, there is some items that will be available for purchase before that you can arrive at camp and get those in a package. For instance, the camp t-shirt for the week. And so please be on the lookout for that and get those ordered if you like. We have a deadline, I believe, Paula can tell me if I'm right, May 12th to put those orders in. If you'd like some of those orders and guaranteed that they're there for you on day one. In general, our next slide is just questions and concerns. What do y'all got? By the way, that was exactly 1 hour. We got that on.
Let me
And I
say
was
one
going to
thing.
say,
Go ahead.
oh, go ahead. No, you go ahead. Mine's just a comment to you. Go
Well,
ahead.
you go ahead and make your comment and then I'll make mine. Autumn.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I don't know about you with that chocolate thing, but if they come visit me at any point during the week, I'm gonna have some chocolates because that's one of my favorite things to snack on.
Yeah.
So I'll have them available. I'll have me a cup of
Well, you
coffee and
You
some
don't have
dark
to worry
chocolate.
about the camp director and the assistant camp director. We have fun and there's a lot of things we do. And another thing we like to do, we love to come by and visit with everybody every night. A lot of troops have a little band. Oh, they play the kazoo, they play the buckets, they play everything. And some of them make homemade root beer and all kinds of good stuff. So we like to come down, visit campfires and hang out with you. So in closing, what I'd like to say is we're going to have fun. And that's the main thing. We're going to have fun and our scouts are going to learn and practice good citizenship. We're going to live by the scout oath and law. And that's what we do. And so we hope that you're going to have a mountaintop experience because we're going to ensure that you do. And we're going to do it in a friendly and scouting atmosphere. So with that being said, anybody else has anything for the cause? Say it.
I will say, since Autumn brought it up, there will always be cold Dr. Pepper and candy and chocolate in my office. We have an open door policy. If you need to air something out, our general idea is come on in, relax for a minute before you say it, and then close the door and you can tell us whatever you need to say. And we're there to take care of you all. Thank you for all the time you're putting in to prepare for camp and for the time that I think most of you are going to take to be out there with our scouts. We're both dads, and so we know what this program means. And we really are going to put our best foot forward to take care of all of you and your scouts.
One other thing is, Michael and I have an office outside under the tree. And that's where the best reception is with your phone, but don't share that with anybody. But normally about 6:30 in the morning, we'll be out there under the tree. And come join us, and we'll be talking about a lot of good things and a lot of things but we like to tell some funny stories too. So y'all have a good evening. We appreciate you and looking forward to seeing you at camp.
If anybody
Can I
has
ask a
any
question about
Melody?
registration?
Sure. I was just gonna say,
Okay.
we'll hang out here as long
Oh,
as we need
sorry.
to.
Can
Just
I
if
ask a
anybody
question
wants
about
to log
registration?
off, go ahead.
Yes.
I haven't done this before. So from the chat, it sounds like you can reserve.
I lost you after the word reserve. But I think the question was, yes, you can reserve spots, and we'd rather you don't have
That's the
cancellation.
best way to do it, because you cannot delete your scouts or adults from your registration yourself. You have to email me. Technically, you have to email 571.refundrequest@scouting.com, but it's me, so you can just send it to me. Right now, if you have not paid in full and you're still adding scouts and you do delete someone that has, or you do have to cancel someone, that $75 that you've paid can get rolled into someone else right now. Once you're paid in full, we've hit some of those deadlines. There are cancellation fees. It's 10%. It's not a punishment. It really only covers the cost of all our electronic data processing fees that we incur. I recommend be conservative and just add as you need to go. That'll save you some steps on your end as well. I'll put my email in the chat box. So if you have questions regarding registration, I'm happy to help. So I know I've been in contact with quite a few of you already. But yes, I would be conservative and add as you go.
Thank you,
And then-
Paula. This is Shirley Howe, and I did the opposite. I kind of went maxed out, and now I realize that it's hard to adjust. So I will definitely get you the number of cancellations. It's not a ton, like we reserved 40. I think we'll have 30 or 32. So I'll send it to you before the March 15th deadline so it doesn't mess up the accounting. Thank you so much.
Sounds good. I'll put my email down in the chat box.
Angie Hughes, I did see your note. I'll get you that reservation number here shortly.
Hi, Paula. This is Melody. I've talked to you a couple of times. I have a ton of adults wanting to come, and we have almost 40 just scouts. Do we have a limit on adults? Like, no,
No,
okay,
Not at
because
all.
we're gonna overflow that campsite. And then
You bring them
So
and
with
we'll get them
regards-
working too.
okay. And then my other question, for the merit badges, I have some parents asking me, is there a limit on the number of Eagle required badges they can take? And
No.
are there prerequisites that they're gonna need to bring with them?
So
Or,
that's a Mike and Mike question with regards to merit badge.
thank
That
you.
is in the merit badge guide, which is available now. Very few of them have requirements.
Okay, I
In
didn't see
some
many,
cases,
so.
yeah, very few of them have requirements. We've taken as much of that off. If it's not in the BSA requirements manual, to take the merit badge, they are welcome to sign up for it. And what we've done is we've tried to maximize the offerings of those Eagle requireds. For instance, I think I said earlier, communication is going to be offered every period. So we're hoping to
Have
to
they-
get those in.
Sorry, Mike. I
Yeah.
was gonna say, yeah, they could take as many Eagle required as they want. And then when I looked at it, the prerequisites were listed, so.
But it's very few, like we said. What else? Any other questions?
So my question is the opposite. We are trying to arrange some sort of patchwork plan for adults. So can I go ahead and register kids and get them signed up even as we're working on the plan, knowing that of course we don't have 2 adults, we can't go. I mean, the plan is we will get there. We just have to piece together the plan.
Tell me your name, ma'am.
Gloria Chang from Troop 730.
Gloria, how many scouts about are you thinking?
7?
7? If you get them here with at least 1 adult, we'll make it happen for you. We'll either put you in a campsite that has other adults we can supplement it with, or we'll get a staff member there with you. We don't want
Okay.
adults to be the challenge why your kids can't come to camp. We'll make it happen for you.
Thank you.
Hey, Michael, I have a question.
Sure.
Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Hi.
Amy Brewer?
Yes.
Hey.
Hey. So my son is crossing over this May. So I wanted him to try Trevor Reese. But you probably remember all of his food allergy issues. So he still has all those. But my other question is he's still in Cub Scouts and they're doing the camp cards. And I wanted him to sell some to put that money towards this camp. But would his camp cards with the Cub Scout group that he's in now apply towards the
Very good
Scout camp?
question. Very good question. We recommend that they do, but at the end of the day, it's up to that Cub Scout pack. I would imagine though they'd be reasonable with that he can use his funds he's earning. But that is up to the pack at the end of the day. If you need help negotiating that, Amy, I think I know a person or two over there.
Okay. And the troop that we're looking at crossing over is Troop 5. And so I don't know
Okay.
if they're planning on coming to the scout camp or not. I just emailed the scout master. But if they don't, as I understand it, we can come as a Maverick.
That's right.
Okay.
right.
And then I would just come with him and try not to hover, right?
Yes. Try is the key word, but also if you come and are able to stay for the week, we will waive that fee. So you won't have to pay anything if you come with him as a Maverick, okay?
Okay. Because yeah, I would stay the whole week and
Okay.
also try not to take all the classes.
You shouldn't have
That I
told me
could.
that. Now I'm gonna have some work for you.
No, I know.
But
Okay,
definitely
cool.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am too. And I'll ask the Cub Scout that the troop that the pack that we're in now, because when I asked before, they said no, that it can't transfer over to Scouts. So I was like, man, that's a good way for us to make money. Like that's kind of our only Scout way since we're in a Cub Scout to make the money. So
I'll follow up with you on that one.
Okay.
It's either a desire thing or a needing further education thing, and so we'll work on it.
okay, thanks and good to see you.
You too. Well, not see here.
Yeah.
What other questions do we have? I'm gonna only single one person out, and you know it's because I love you. Miss Hardaway, are you bringing me a nice big group this year?
I think so. We're already up to, I haven't checked my emails today, but we're already up to 40 something.
Good
So
deal.
that's bigger than the last couple of years, not as
Yeah.
big as the past. I
That's all right.
am having, Paula, I may need to call you tomorrow and have you walk me through starting the
So-
register. I
And
don't
if
know
you can
why
hold
it's not
off,
working.
if you can hold the Friday, I am in a lot of meetings this week due to a
Okay.
wonderful, amazing banquet that hopefully lots of you are going to on the 24th of March. I'm in meetings all day tomorrow, half of Friday. But I will touch base with you, and I have emailed you links. So if people are can't find the link to the registration, reach out to me. I can email it to you. It will come from a no reply at scouting event. Or,
So I was able to get into mine and I
Mhm.
hit confirm. Unfortunately, we have another person who handles all the credit card transactions. Can I register them if we haven't paid our deposit? Like, I hit
You
confirm, but
have paid a deposit. So
have?
if you have paid, you can move into the next page. You can start entering the data. You won't be able to check out without paying the $75.
Okay. Perfect. I'm gonna try that again.
But yeah, touch
And,
base with me Friday if you need help.
And Michael, yes, I'm working on a nice, big group for you.
Good deal. And let me know what I can do to help. We have a new DE starting for you next Monday too. But let me
Take
know
all
whatever I
their
can
cell phones. That would be really helpful.
Ms. Hardaway,
So
we're used
fresh.
to you having 3 or 4 campsites, and we have a special process that you go through. So you need to stay in tune with us, okay? So we're geared
Okay.
up and we're ready. You know, about 200 is gonna be good, okay?
I
We
wish.
can
I
pull that
wish.
off, okay?
I'm trying my
Good.
hardest. I promise.
Good
I
deal.
went the other night to the meeting and rallied the
Good deal.
troops.
Good deal. I know you're working hard on it, and so thank you. And so you're coming to camp?
I will not be at camp. I will be
Okay.
there at check-in and check-out.
Good deal.
And
That
I'll be
works.
there if they need me, but my son's going to summer school.
Oh, no worries, no worries. Well,
So-
thank you. Anybody else got any questions, thoughts, Mr.
Oh,
Castelli?
wait.
Oh,
I did
sorry,
have
go
a
ahead.
question.
Yep.
We have a young man who's in high school, so we're an older scout. He only needs one merit badge, which is cooking.
Mhm.
Can he, for the other 3 classes, can he do anything like help in merit badge classes and earn service hours?
Absolutely.
Okay, so if
Just,
I wanted him to do that, do I email you and figure that out?
Yes, when you sign him up for merit badges, just sign him up for cooking, and
Okay.
then let me know who it is, and we'll work through that with him.
Perfect.
You could possibly sign them up as an SIT for the week and let them take one badge.
Yeah, that could also work. I was about to say that if he signs up for as an SIT, then we can just let him go take that class during that class period.
Okay,
It's a resume booster too, so that's why they give the SIT suggestion. It'll almost look like an internship on a resume, so that would be cool. Good idea.
perfect. I will talk to his mother. Thank you.
Anything else?
Mr. Castelli, I know you're wanting to say something.
I'm gonna hold off until I look at the leader's guide. I'll probably have more questions after
Okay.
that. so-
Hey, I just have a note. Otis is supposed to let me know if he's coming tomorrow night, okay?
So the leader's guide, I did not see the 2022 leader's guide.
It'll be up by Friday.
Okay,
It is
perfect.
in final draft mode, and we're gonna edit a couple things based on our conversations tonight. We'll
Okay.
decide on the open meal plans thing, and a couple of exciting little things. We probably won't be able to finalize exactly which trainings we're gonna offer, but that'll be posted by Friday.
Perfect. Fabulous. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Paula,
ma'am.
thank you for my 900 emails that I send you and drive you crazy with.
All right. Well, thank you. I think we're at the point now where everybody's waiting because they want to be the last one on to ask their hard-hitting questions. So we're here. We're ready to play the game.
$200.
I will try my hardest. I promise.
I can help promote too.
I
challenged them
rally,
last
I
time.
rally. I'm a cheerleader.
I
I
know,
rally
I
these
know.
people.
I know it.
Is Charlie Cash still around?
Yes, in fact, his son Henry
Well,
is coming this
Tell
year.
Charlie to answer his phone. I called him. I wanted to talk to him and tell him. And what about Jim Thorpe?
No, Jim has moved
Right.
on. His son
Yeah.
is done and
He's a good guy.
he is.
Well,
Tell
Henderson,
them
I'll
they
see
come and
you
work for us this
on
summer.
Friday.
What's that, Mr. Castelli?
I was just telling Henderson, I'll see him on Friday.
All right.
Sorry
All
for
right, you
your
guys take care.
sorry for your pain, Michael.
That's all right, Michael. I'm buying your lunch. That's okay.
You guys did great. It's like the Mike and Mike show on ESPN again.
Hey, if we can have a run that long, I'm gonna be in pain.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Back to this adults question. So I can sign up a couple scouts even without putting the adults in yet, so they can register on the 15th. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
You're welcome.
You might find another troop that's willing to take that second adult so they get it for free. Because 2 adults come for free. So that if you're trying to convince somebody,
Yeah.
maybe from another troop to partner with you, that might be a little ammo.
Is it okay if so I might go for part of the week, because I don't think I can go the whole time, but like as someone who doesn't have a lot of experience, I've never been a scoutmaster, I haven't been to the troop camp, but it sounds great. Looking forward to it. Is that gonna be okay?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The
Thank
only
you.
thing you need to do is be prepared with the equipment and stuff, bug spray, all that stuff. And just know it's gonna be hot, but we'll take care of you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good deal.
It is not that hot. There's nice breeze off the lake.
Agreed.
I get
Thank you.
cold.
Oh, wow. That-
Depends
that
on
I
the
haven't
day
heard.
out here.
True, but the breeze off the lake is nice,
Yeah.
especially in June.
Yeah, for sure. If you all don't know, we are doing a special girls retreat during 4th of July week. We're really excited about that. It's a girls only week for girl troops. And we're really excited about getting that kicked off this year and having some special stuff. So if you know any girl troops, let them know.
Or girls that want a second week.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Henderson, I'm
My
proud
son
of
will be
you.
living at TRJ the whole summer, and we mapped out yesterday his 24 merit badges he's gonna
Hey,
get.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. We'll be counting them down every day. We're gonna put
And
a
that's-
mark on the wall.
And that's not even counting all the stuff he's gonna have to go through during staff week. He's gonna have to be an auditor for whoever our weakest staff members are.
Just throw him to him, say, hey, take care of this.
Yeah,
And then he can report back.
yeah.
It's getting closer. It's getting closer.
All right, I'm gonna
It is.
bounce off.
And-
You
right.
guys did a,
All right.
you guys did a
Bye.
great job.
Thank you,
I'm going
Michael.
to another Zoom meeting. I'll talk to y'all later.
Good deal.
All
Thank you,
right.
sir.
Bye, Mike.
Bye.
Night.
Henderson, I'm proud of you.
Why, he didn't get
You
your name
didn't call
wrong?
me. Yeah, you
I
didn't
knew
call
it.
me Amber once this whole meeting.
He did once while we were on mute.
Oh,
I'm
I
kidding.
think,
I'm
I think,
You talking about me again?
kidding.
I think,
Well,
yeah,
I called
I
you
think what I'm
Spring.
gonna
Isn't that your
do
name?
is, I think what I'm gonna do is just, warn everybody, like, if you hear Henriksen calling me Amber, he's talking about me. He's not talking about a completely random person.
But we both always we've written how to spell your name on our hand because we both struggling with that.
Yeah, the spelling I get.
It's
Yeah, so-
different.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna name you
It's
Spring
different, though.
or Fall. That'll be
Yeah,
easier.
Yeah. Hey, my parents they knew that I was gonna be difficult, so they decided to make my name difficult.
Yeah. All I can tell you is you would miss so many emails if my computer didn't know that when I type in Rigel, it means you.
Automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rick, are you still there with us? Did you have something? That's all right. He might have us on in the background, and that's okay. Just wanted to be.
I didn't have you all on the background. I was actually looking through the chat, looking for information. So I was trying to find the email address for cancellations.
For cancellations,
okay.
Paula.bramble@scouting.org. She's typing it in again. I can see her.
Perfect. Thank you. But no, I didn't have any other questions. I was just listening to the conversation.
Good deal. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I
Rick.
Have a
typed
good
it
night.
in there too for you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Good night, Rick.
Good night.
Have a good night.
You don't want to rumble with Miss Brumble.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
You just got yourself a tagline there, Paula.
Hey, I just want to say every time I've had interactions with Paula, she's been nothing but a delight.
You were saying something, but you're on mute there, Paula.
Yeah, Paula. Come on, Paula. Tell us what you mean. Come on.
I'm so tired.
I know it. We are too.
You are too. I know. You guys have late nights. So
That's all right.
yeah.
We got the-
All right, that's good.
What'd
So-
you think? Did it all make sense?
Good. I knew that I was gonna get blasted with registration.
That's all right.
So
We
the-
were prepared
the
for it
key
in case.
is, just so we're on the same page, is that the 2 free adults are only for the full-time. So if they're
Yeah.
part-time, they can't combine, okay. Because there's a lot of people that think that, and I'm like, I'm mean and I feel bad, but it's their thank you for taking a week's vacation, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
No worries.
I'm starting to get a lot of questions, so we're gonna see our numbers blow all over the place.
How'd you
That's
like the
good.
Tonight Show?
Great. Can you make sure you send the slideshow to me as well?
Yes.
Because that would be a full reference for me as well for questions.
What does she
and
want? She
save
wants-
me-
Sure. Well, now, wait a minute. It's patented.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
it's a fee. Every week it goes
Hey.
up more. We do not
Paula,
work
I'm
cheap,
also
Paula.
He's gonna start selling them for points off his
Yeah.
district budgets.
There you go.
Oh my God. Stop.
Hey, that Nathan Doherty's a crook. You better watch him.
This is being recorded.
He's
Autumn,
gone over
what
to
do
the
you got?
dark
Paula,
side now. Nathan's moved
Yeah.
over now to your side, so he's
I know
like,
it.
he's gone.
Yeah, he'll be working hard any minute now.
Maybe.
Talking about Nathan.
Oh,
Yeah.
Doherty.
Doherty.
If
Oh,
he
Nathan.
doesn't
Oh,
slide
come
all the
on.
way down off his chair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He,
Autumn, did you have something?
Sorry, Autumn, you wanted to
Sorry.
say something.
No, you're fine. I'm putting together a list of all of the stuff that's gonna be taught in FYC
Yep.
this summer. And I'm putting a list of incompletes at camp together, and I'm gonna send them to everybody. Do you want me to add you to that email list?
Yes. So what is going to be really helpful is if we can get that in as a PDF. So I don't know if you're just typing it in an email. Typically they'll do a grid, like they'll have tenderfoot, second class, first class, and they'll list the requirements. So if you have something like that, and it doesn't have to be pretty, it just needs to be functional. And we'll add that as a PDF to the attachments, and that way people can go and find it.
Yep, I can get that. I'll start working on it tomorrow. Hopefully I can get it to you guys by Friday.
Awesome.
So that you know, Autumn, I've already
Yes.
gone through all those merit badges and not listed the things that can't possibly be taught at camp. So like, or done at camp, like track your whatever for 12 weeks. It's not even on there. So
Yeah, well,
Thanks.
I wanted to put out a list of like, just like what, not necessarily what we're not teaching, but list like for the merit badges, like this one isn't gonna be complete at
Yeah.
camp.
Yeah.
So I'm doing ones that are incomplete at camp, and the only one that I'm going through and putting what requirements we are going to cover or aren't going to cover is FYC, because I know a lot of scouts will be like, well, we could do this before camp if they're not gonna be able to do it at camp.
Gotcha.
So I'm just gonna give them a list of what we're not doing in the FYC area.
Good deal. All right. Is there any particular questions or challenges you're getting from that, Paula? Because
No.
Mike's all worked up about it and I don't understand.
Mike, which Mike? There's so many.
Henriksen.
No, as long as we get a grid, I will say, Autumn, it may look better to list what you are reviewing rather than what you're not reviewing. I know it's the same data, but it looks better. It makes people
Yeah,
happier.
yeah.
Going, okay, this is what we're achieving.
The only thing I'd say back, it's the list is
Hopeful.
500 pieces
Longer.
shorter for what
Oh,
we're not
yeah,
covering,
that's true.
right? There's
So-
something like 8 or 10 that we won't cover. And so,
Oh, yeah. Okay. So if that's the case, because I wasn't sure what the parameters were,
yeah,
then yeah, you put, we'll endeavor to cover all ranks except, or all components.
except for
Requirements,
these
I
that
think.
cannot be
Yeah,
covered.
because like first year camper has like for
Oh, yeah.
first class, they have like 11 requirements and some of those have B's and C's and D's. So
Mhm. Yeah.
it's a lot easier for me just to put, we're gonna do everything except for these.
That's fine. Yeah, that's good. So you might want to put the asterisk going, it's not guaranteed depending on how the
Right.
class
Yeah, we're going to try to do all of these.
Yes.
Yeah.
goes.
All right. Hey,
Well-
hey Paula, Michael's gonna
Yes.
send you a contract.
Will it involve me earning more money
No, yeah, you're gonna be
for
Darn Mom.
chocolate? Is this
You're
where
the
I go?
Darn
I love
Mother.
Rolos. There you
You're
go.
gonna be the Darn Mom.
I refuse to purchase Rolos.
Love
You
Rolos.
can buy them and I'll reimburse you, but I'm not putting that. no.
You know what I bought the other day, Paula?
What?
I bought a special, 2 new cowbells for $9.
Oh my God, you're not charging that to my budget.
Autumn. Yeah, Autumn.
I'm gonna call Cole just to come and steal his cowbell.
I have got extras.
Hey, guess what? That's gonna earn you some cups of water in your office floor again.
We need a cowbell band, don't we?
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
All right.
All
Well,
right,
y'all
guys.
have a
Alright.
good night.
Good night,
Y'all have a
guys.
good night. We're going home.
All right. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Good
Sleep
night,
tight,
guys.
don't let the bed
Bye.
bugs bite.
Thank you, Autumn. Good job.
Thank you, Autumn.
Good night.
All right.
Good night, y'all.
Thanks, Kevin. I didn't know you were still there. Thank you, sir.
Hey, Kevin.
Of course.
Good night, Kevin.
Hey. Yeah, y'all have a good night.
You
All
too,
right, well, you
thanks.
need to join in, man. Let us know you're still alive.
He's delirious at
That's
this
right.
point.
Hey,
I am.
Kevin. Hey, have a good rest of the spring
We're
break.
just driving right now.
All righty, brother.
Sure will.
All right,
All
bro.
right. I'll talk to y'all soon.
Uh-huh.
Bye.